Cannabis saved my life. I realize that statement sounds like hyperbole, but I promise you it isn't. If I hadn't started using cannabis regularly back in 2012, I wouldn't be here right now. Flashback to 2006. I had just been medically discharged from the Marine Corps after 11 years and 2 combat tours, knowing nothing but the military. I had no job prospects and absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I wasn't expecting to be out of the Marines so soon, and I was having a really hard time dealing with the transition. On top of the tough time I was having adjusting, I was taking handfuls of VA prescribed pills every day that were further reducing my ability and my will to cope with the changes. 2006 was the first time I attempted to kill myself. There had been warning signs before, unintentional overdoses, cries for help, but 2006 was the first time I ever took harmful measures and went to bed hoping that I wouldn't wake up the next morning. I would wind up attempting suicide 2 more times after that over the following 5 years. I was in and out of the inpatient psych unit at the VA, and every single time I left, I came out with a new prescription, a new tool to numb myself with and potentially overdose on the next time shit gets rough. My will to live came in the form of a couple of things. A 2012 Discovery Channel show called Weed Wars that highlighted veterans who used cannabis in one of its episodes, and my therapist feeding me a dose of reality at a pivotal moment. Weed Wars got me to pick up cannabis and retake control of my mind. Cannabis allowed me to think critically in an introspective manner. In really examining what was going on with me, I was able to discern the difference between my thoughts about what was happening and what was actually happening. Getting past negative thinking is key. It helped me re-engage in therapy and start really working to process what was happening. My therapist, who I'd been seeing since 2010, knows me very well and knows how I respond. One day in therapy, after I'd already started using cannabis and thinking for myself again, I was talking about how I was having a hard time leaving the house because I don't feel safe. She looked at me with a straight face and said, "Well, what if someone firebombs your house with you in it?" Now, while this wouldn't work for everyone, it really did for me. That was the day I realized that I don't have the ability to control anything that happens to me. I only have the ability to decide how I will respond to what happens. From that moment, I decided I didn't want to end my life. What I'd been through and all I'd lost wasn't who I was, but up to that point, I was letting it define me. I didn't have to be the veteran broken by the system. I could be whatever I wanted to be. I joined a community of cannabis activists in my hometown of Philadelphia, and together we did a ton of work that culminated in Philadelphia becoming the largest city in the United States to decriminalize small amounts of cannabis. One of the reasons I was suicidal was because I was lost. I wasn't sure who I was anymore if I wasn't a Marine. Becoming an activist and being part of that community and affecting change the way we did further changed my life, because it gave me a purpose I thought I'd lost when I got out of the Marines. A 2012 study co-written by professors from Montana State, San Diego State, and the University of Colorado, Denver, analyzed suicide rates from 1990 to 2007 in states where medical cannabis was legal. The authors concluded that suicide rates in men decreased approximately 10%. Now, correlation doesn't equal causation, but knowing what I've been through, it wouldn't surprise me if causation is drawn one day. Not only did cannabis save my life, it's kept me alive. It's given me a purpose, and it's allowed me to continue my service. If you're struggling and thinking of harming yourself, please talk to someone. You can call the National Suicide Hotline at 1-800-273-8255.